We're here back in the Fantasy Bar with your Week 13 NFL six-pack. 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a running back I think is way too cheap in a great matchup. We've got a quarterback receiver pairing that's not going to cost you a lot with big-time upside, a premium tight end I want to pay up for, and a running back I think can go absolutely ham in this matchup. Who are we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Week 13 six-pack coming off of Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great holiday. We are focused on this Sunday slate. 6 of my favorite plays ready for you, fresh off the tap. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out this week's video. Before we get to those plays, take a second, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Quick recap on our Week 12 video. Was definitely a rough one for us. We had the injury to Brian Robinson, taking him out of the game. The injury to Brock Purdy sunk Juwan Jennings, but we did have some positives. Bo Nix to Cortland Sutton was a big connection. But Week 13, we turned things around. Congrats to our Beast of the Week contest winners who won either a free month of RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium, and you're going to have that same shot to win that same prize coming up at the end of the video. And lastly, make sure you check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. Tons of great stuff going over there. Promo code ROTO10 to take advantage of some of the offers over there. Pick'em games, all kinds of contests. Make sure you check it out. splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. All right, let's dive in here on Week 13. Let's start at running back with Bucky Irving of Tampa Bay. So this has been coming for a while here. Bucky Irving sneakily working in on Rachaad White's workload, and looks like he has seized control of this Tampa Bay backfield. White not going away, but Irving playing more and more each and every week, and the prices simply have not caught up yet to Bucky Irving. So these prices are going to be much higher here in weeks coming. Take advantage here in Week 13. We're talking 15 or more DraftKings points now in 5 of the last 6 games, averaging over 19 DraftKings points in those games, and the receiving work has certainly been there. Even with Rachaad White there, who's a great receiving back, 19 receptions for Bucky Irving over just the last 4 games alone, and this matchup does not get any better for a running back. Carolina giving up nearly 130 rushing yards per game, 14 rushing touchdowns, already worst in the NFL, and of course, the most fantasy points per game. Great buy low here in a fantastic matchup for Bucky Irving. All right, let's go to the wide receiver position. Spend some money on Puka Nacua of the Rams. Now, Nacua been nothing short of fantastic since returning from injury in Week 8. 49 targets over those 5 games from Matthew Stafford. We take out that Seattle game where he got ejected. So the last 4 healthy games, we're talking 8 receptions a game and 111 receiving yards per contest for Puka Nacua. New Orleans, a great matchup for wide receivers. 5th most receiving yards allowed this position, and the 6th most fantasy points allowed. Could get a little back and forth here. I think Puka Nacua goes double-digit catches, goes over 100 yards, and finds the end zone in a great spot against the New Orleans Saints. All right, let's go with some value and some upside at quarterback with Anthony Richardson. So not many guys this cheap that you're going to get the level of upside that you can get out of Anthony Richardson, and I love the spot for him this week against the New England Patriots. Tough spot for him last week against a good Detroit defense, but did give us 61 rushing yards. Now 6 games on the season of 30 or more rushing yards and 20 rushing attempts over the last 2. So they've really designed this offense to fit the strengths of Anthony Richardson, giving him a lot more of those design runs. And I think this could be not only a game where he can run, but he can find success through the air as well. New England coughing up the 7th most passing yards, 6th most touchdown passes at 20 on the season. I think this is a smash spot for Anthony Richardson at a cheap $5,500 price point over on DraftKings. All right, we like Anthony Richardson. Let's pair him up with a wide receiver. We're rolling with Alec Pierce. So Josh Downs looking iffy at best here this week, and I think a lot of people in early ownership is certainly showing Michael Pittman going to be very popular here this week. So let's get a little bit different here with Alec Pierce. We know that Anthony Richardson is certainly going to unleash the ball down the field, and Pierce has been the recipient of a lot of those long plays. 6 games already this season with long receptions over 30 yards, many of those 40, 50, 60-yard catches for Alec Pierce. And this guy's really given us a lot of ceiling games this season. New England bottom 10 in receiving yards, receptions, touchdowns, and fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So a sneaky pairing here with Pierce and Richardson. Mass is going to Michael Pittman. Let's get a little bit different with this pairing at just over $10,000 for the 2 on DraftKings. All right, let's go to the tight end position next, and we are going to spend up on Trey McBride. Now, McBride just been so involved in this Arizona offense. Last week, 12 catches, 15 targets, and that first read target share sitting at 59% last week from Kyler Murray. On the road, this guy's been getting gobs of targets, 5 road games this season. He's gotten 8 or more targets in every one of those games, averaging almost 18 DraftKings points per game. And Minnesota's certainly a pass funnel defense, so the Cardinals are putting the ball in the air a ton. They have been solid against tight ends, but you look at the teams they played, not a ton of big names or great players in that lineup, so not worried about those stats here. I think Arizona can get it done through the air, like we said. 581 passing yards allowed over the last 2 weeks by this Vikings defense. Potential shootout here. Love Trey McBride here in Week 13. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Week 13. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Week contest. Easy to play. All you got to do, click that thumbs up button, head to the comment section, and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Week. Whoever's guess is the closest, we're going to give you your choice. A free month of RotoGrinders Premium or a free month of Scores and Odds Premium. And while you're down there, who is your top play? Who is your Beast of the Week? Sound off in that YouTube comment section. All right, let's wrap it up with my favorite play. You know him as the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back, and we are rolling with Joe Mixon of the Texans, this week's Beast of the Week. So coming off a tough game for Joe Mixon, I love the bounce back here in a great spot against this Jacksonville defense. We'll get to them in a second, but Mixon is putting up some massive games on the season. Already 5 games of 26 or more DraftKings points, 4 of those games, 29 or more, just seeing a ton of volume in this game. Texans should be able to control this game and dominate on the ground here with Joe Mixon. As we talked about, Jacksonville has been terrible against the run, 11 rushing touchdowns already, and the second most fantasy points to the running back position. Joe Mixon in another spot to give us 25, 30, 35 DraftKings points. I think he goes absolutely ham this weekend. Joe Mixon, easily my favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Week 13 six-pack. As always, any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, your guess, Joe Mixon's fantasy output on DraftKings for your shot to win some free RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium for an entire month. And make sure you check out splashsports.com/RotoGrinders. Tons of great contests for Week 13. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck here in Week 13, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.